Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Pisces. So we are going again back to the new moon. Today is your first reading back to you. You had last time Virgo Sun giving Pisces full moon the light, right? And the message, letting go and trust, never felt as good as this time. And this is a beautiful message, right? That you can let go and that you can trust. And I do readings to the right and I do readings to the left. Right to the full moon, left to the new moon. And you have 6 months where you go extroverted to your opposite sign, which is Virgo. And then you have 6 months where you go introverted back to you, where you then have the sun and the new moon both in your sign. And you are here in the tarot, the past lives, here with Osho Zen Tarot. And what's important to understand here is that we come again and again and again so that we can really learn the lessons, right? The ups and downs, the in and out, and etc. So the moon here is in your sign, and so the moon is in the moon, right? So the moon is at home, and so here the feelings and your subconscious are getting maybe in your dreams now quite an information, quite a message. So you are here as the past lives in Osho Zen Tarot. And that's sometimes scary to think about, right? That we come back again and again and we don't remember. The sun in Libra is giving the light to the moon in Pisces. And the sun is the feeling of what do I bring to this world? What do I radiate out into this world? And it's the message of equilibrium. You want to feel in harmony deep within, and that harmony is now affecting you, and you are going to search deep within, where have you felt in harmony, where have you felt in equilibrium, right? And the sun is the innocence with Osho, and it's the 19th major arcana, and you see the master, how he is looking at this insect, and he's completely trusting. And as you can see, he looks to the left, right? But remember, when someone is looking to the left, I see that from an outer perspective, but when I become the card, he is looking to the right, and he is using all the knowledge that he found in the inside for the outside, and that's why he is actually a master. So here we have the 11th major arcana, Libra, justice, harmony, right? And here we have the 18th major arcana, and here, of course, it's this I am understanding that the moon has this subconscious energy and is letting me know where do I really come from, who I have been in my previous lives, and who I still want to become. And so you can see the message to the left is now bringing you back to you again. The yoga position for Libra is Malasana. We are standing on the balls of our feet and we're holding the hands in front of the heart with the sword pointing at the third eye. We find deep within us this equilibrium. And for you, of course, fish pose, but also upward and downward facing dog, which are the guardians, right? One is the wolf, which is here in the black, and one is the dog, which is here the upward facing dog. And here are two salamanders that are guarding the portal of consciousness. And so this is the message right now. Now you are ruled by Neptune. Remember that Neptune in the tarot is the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man in Osho is the new vision. And you see he is opening himself up to the right, but when you become it, you see that it's going to the left. So always remember that, right? When you look at the card, you see it from an outer perspective, but then when you become the card, you actually understand which direction it's going. So Neptune is the one that brings the dreams, the dream world, and as such, it is important that we integrate the Hanged Man into our reading, right? The Justice in your deck is the breakthrough. And I find that very interesting when you look at it, right? Here's the Golden Dawn and here's Osho Zen Tarot, and you see there is a completely different dynamic going on than this person sitting here and holding the equilibrium in his left hand. And so the breakthrough, it's almost like it's saying break free from the word justice, because Aleister Crowley said the word justice is man-made. And so I like this one very much, right? Now the 11, a portal, right? A 1-1. And here, of course, the 18, the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, and of course the 8, the strength to understand that here we keep going life after life after life, and we keep coming back. And so sometimes it's a little bit intense to actually think about that. You are the Knight of Cups, and in Osho you are trust, right? And you let yourself fall here really beautifully into this pink cloud. Is your birthday between February 8 and March 11, then is this your court card. If your birthday is before or after, please look in the description below. I have listed the dates there. Then you might want to look for the court card into the reading before or after, right? Because the dates of the court cards are different than the dates when the sun is in the zodiac sign. You are Pisces, the dreamer, right? You love to dream because that's Neptune's influence. And you're the 12th zodiac sign, and as such connected to the 12th house of the spirituality and art, right? And we've been in the age of Pisces for the last 2,100 years, and that's where we have seen the development of movies, of theater, of all the arts, right, that we are now enjoying. And what's really important to understand is that we're going into the age of Aquarius, and the technology has been taking over, and that's why we can see movies, and that's why we can see that there is a broader awakening into technology. Now, one more time, right, to the last reading, the letting go and trust never felt as good as this time. I want to see if there is a reoccurring card that has come up, because as such I can see if you need to work still on something, and I see one card already has come up a second time, and I think a second card has come up. Okay, so two cards have come up, and so we're gonna look at that and integrate that, right? Because I think it's important. It's kind of like it's a spiral, right? It's like it's the next loop, but you want to know if there is a card that is coming back. And when there is a card coming back, it means she or the card wants to talk to you particularly one more time. So we begin with the Knight of Cups, right? And you getting the letting go, and that card came up last time as well, and also on the position of here the Knight of Cups. And so there is something talking to you, and it's connected with the constellation Saturn in Pisces. And Saturn is, of course, the world. Saturn rules Capricorn, and Capricorn right now is having its last month with Pluto in it, and has been 15 years. And the big transformation will be when Pluto leaves Capricorn and goes into Aquarius. So here we have the 12, and here we have the 8. That's the 20. And the 20 in the tarot is Pluto, is the last judgment, right? That's planet Pluto. And Pluto is the mystery. Pluto is the deep, dark place that we have to trust, that when something difficult comes to us, it's there so that we can grow. It's there so that we can understand. I'm growing and learning from this experience. And so the 20 is talking. The 2 is the high priestess, right? Is the intuition. Have the intuition to know when you let yourself fall into the big water, right? You see here one little drop dropping into this water. You can trust that what you find is important. So really let go, right? Let go and trust. Never felt as good as this time. And so I think you still need to let go and trust this time. And so that's the message already right here. Then I want to see what's coming from the Mother Piece Tarot, and it's the Priestess of Cups to the right. And so what's important when you look at this card, right, you see a woman that is half woman, half fish, and she has here the whale that is with her. You see that the card is facing to the right, but we know now that it's actually going to the left. And so she's coming to help you. And so these round cards are really precise, and we know now that yes, she's facing the right, but the knowledge comes from the left, from within, from the soul. And so you see here Cancer giving you help. She's the 4th zodiac sign. The 8 and the 4 is the 12. Then you have a 12-12 portal here. Then we can calculate here the 12 into a 3 and the 12 into a 3, and then you have a 33. Then you have the mastery, what the secret brotherhood is actually bringing to you, right? When you understand these cards, and that's why I'm actually doing what I'm doing. So I'm learning to understand these cards and the deeper meaning behind it. So letting go into healing, letting go into love is what Cancer is bringing here to you. The 33 is the master in doing such a thing, right? And so understand that this is a very important sign for you right now. But I want to know, what is Cancer telling you, right? What is the Queen of Cups telling you? And she's bringing you the 7 of Swords, which is Moon in Aquarius. And the 7 of Swords is always, you are thinking that you're not worth it. You are thinking that you are the victim. And the victim is the problem, right? We have the persecutor and we have the protector. And the only person that needs to change something is the victim. Because when we think we're not good enough, someone always can come and push you down and control you and do whatever with you. And so you need to step up, right? And this is the healing. This is let go of thinking that you're not good enough, that you're the victim, that you are actually, for some reason, also have inner doubts. It's kind of like, let go of that, right? Let go of something that has been put onto you and that never belonged to you. And there is the forgiving in it, right? In the forgiving is giving back what never belonged to you in the first place, because the person actually that did whatever it did to you had himself also done that to himself, right? Or was done to himself. And so you understand here that the 33 I leave because that's very powerful. And then the 7, the emotional intelligence, is telling you you need to come into your crown chakra. Now, of course, the 4 and the 7 is the 11 here. So I can create also an 11. You become then the inner teacher that is teaching you to not think like this anymore and to change it. And that's what we do in our subconscious, right? In the subconscious, we learn to look deeper and to be like, I am learning through yoga nidra or through hypnosis to replace sentences that say, well, I'm not good enough, I'm doubting myself, I'm the victim, to I am strong, I am powerful, and I can do this, right? Then comes the new vision, Neptune. And here I have crystals, the magic of crystals, and you get the aquamarine. And the aquamarine is a beautiful stone, right? And what's important here with the aquamarine is that he brings you clarity, he brings you to know and to accept yourself and the truth right around you, and that you need to go deep within and learn in the 6, the self-love, because self-love is all we need to actually come to a place of absolute acceptance, right? And so to recognize that you have here such a beautiful message already, right? As that new vision, as that Neptune energy that is coming through here, right? And that you understand that you want to come into this blue stone. So maybe you get a blue stone like the aquamarine, right? That will help you. Now, I did the reading for the German Pisces, and there was a stone that talked to me really strongly, and I bought it yesterday, right? And so it's this one here. And it's really beautiful, right? And I really said to myself, okay, I'm gonna get this stone, because for some reason it talked to me. And maybe this doesn't talk to you, then you don't need to get the stone. But maybe this talks to you and you want to get a stone like this. You can also get a ring, right? So these are beautiful, precious stones, and I think we should really surround ourselves with them. And so you getting here the 12 and the 6, right? That's the 18, that's the moon. And so you understand that something is talking here through this stone to you, that you can be in this new vision, that you can really find your truth and your clarity in this new vision. What is coming up here? Temperance, which is called integration here in Osho's Tarot. And you see the yin and yang symbol. You see how the fire and the water is present. And that's the 2 cups, right? The melting of the masculine and the feminine, the uniting of the snake here in its tail. It's such a beautiful card. And you see here the stone. It's almost like this could be here the crystal, right? And the lotus flower. And it's really beautiful. It's the moon and the sun. We can see here on the sides, right? And the swan and the eagle. I mean, it's just a really beautiful card. So you understand Sagittarius is coming here, and so maybe you're getting the clarity for Sagittarius. And as a temperance, that's the soul aspect of Sagittarius talking to you, and it's the number 14. We calculate that into a 5, and the 6, that's then 11, the 11 and the 3 here when we calculate the 12 together, right? The 3rd of November or the 11th of March, right? So you can decide which date works for you. Then what is coming from the Mother Peace Tarot? The 3 of Discs to the right. And to the right, it's saying, well, you want to build something. You want to connect. You want to understand. You want to understand why these 3 women are building a house here together. And so you learning to understand that the message is in the stone. And so you get a 3 here, and you have a 3 here, right, with the 12. Then you have again a 33. So you already had a 33, so now you get another 33. Really beautiful. And then here you get the 5 and the 6, that's the 11, a 33 and the 11. So you get portals that are definitely letting you know there is something really important that you need to either do with the Sagittarius, right? And really come into a clarity with this person or the soul aspect of this person, right? And see for yourself how you can actually create this healing here. And of course, I want to see what is Sagittarius telling you. And the coyote is coming, the totem of arrows, and that's Gemini. And Gemini is the opposite sign of Sagittarius. So it's almost like Sagittarius is telling you, or the soul of Sagittarius is telling you, that here the Knight of Swords, right? Gemini is the opposite sign of Sagittarius, and so he needs to learn to be with this energy. He needs to unite, right, with this energy. That's the 2 cups that he holds in his hands. It's almost like he's saying, yes, I, Sagittarius, are learning to integrate here this zodiac sign, Gemini. And it's difficult because they're so opposite of each other. They're opposite of each other's circle, right? And so you see here comes again a 3. So you have 3 times the 3. And so you can see there is a really deep message in here, right? That Sagittarius is wanting to tell you. And he's trying to communicate. And this is the communication, right? That he's trying to communicate, but for some reason it's difficult to communicate. And so I want to see what is he saying, right, Gemini? And I'm just going to put this down, and you get the 10 of Wands, which is Saturn in Sagittarius. And so Saturn is the world. The world is difficult for Sagittarius, right? And it's kind of back to him. It's back to this card. It's almost like it's difficult for me to communicate with you. It's difficult for me to see that I have to come down, that I have enormous power deep within me, but I have a hard time to accept it. And the 10 and the 3 here is the 13. That's Scorpio. That's transformation. There is a transformation here. There is something that this person here needs to learn, or the Gemini needs to learn, right? But I think it's actually him, because is Saturn in Sagittarius. And it's here, this is the medium, this is the communication. And so the 13 turns into a 4, and the 5 and the 4 is the 9. And the 9 is, then there is a completion, then there is a healing. And so we can do the 6 and the 3 and 9 as well. Then we have a 9-9 portal, right? 2 times the 9 with the 3 above as the new vision. Your new vision should be to communicate, to learn, to see, and that here problem sometimes is that we have opposite signs in our lives that we have such a hard time to understand, but that's what the yin and the yang means. How can the light understand the dark, and how can the dark understand the light? Well, because there's a little dark in the light and there's a little light in the dark. And that's how we access our opposite sign. And as such, you get here a 9-9 portal, right? And the 3 I leave at itself, because the 3 is actually the Empress. And the Empress is, of course, Venus. And Venus is beauty and love and all that, what we understand with it. Now the moon is bringing you the horned cactus as a message of the dream world. The resourcefulness, the 29. There's the 20 in it, that's Pluto, or the last judgment. And there's again a 9. Calculated together, we get the 11. So 9-11, right? The 18 calculated together, we get the 9-11 or the 11-9. So you decide again which date is significant for you. So this horned cactus is a message from the dream world, and you need to look at it and see why is this energy here. And I'm just going to give you a little message from the horned cactus here. I'm not going to read all of it, but it's blooming through resilience and resourcefulness and discovery, right? When nothing seems to be happening fast enough, or your ideas have dried up, you begin to question your relevance. During these periods in life, you might feel like giving up, frustrated and resentful that success will never happen for you. And so you're learning to really come into a place of, I need to be resilient. I need to be resourceful, right? And so you get the 9-11 or the 11-9. Then comes the 2 of Wands, which is Mars in Aries. And you see here the bird flying, right? And you have here the Sagittarius. And Sagittarius usually is the eagle. So somehow someone is flying up here high, is letting you know, right? Mars in Aries is, I am now understanding the action, when I take action, that it's important for me to understand how I take those actions. I cannot just do whatever. So the 9 and the 2 is again here an 11. So we have an 11-11 portal. And that's a really beautiful sign for you, right? That's like, okay, 2 times the 11. Understand something is very strongly talking to you. So there is a freedom in the 2 of Wands. There is this like, I am taking this flight, and the 11-11 portal is letting you know that. Then from the Mother Peace Tarot, we get to the left, the 6 of Wands, which is Jupiter in Leo. And so now you have 2 and 6, 8 wands, and 8 wands are actually the infinite actions that when we come again and again in this world, we need to experience sometimes the same difficulties, right? The same outcomes, and we have to learn, right? And we need to learn to come into the love, right? Of here, Cancer. We need to love. We need to let go. Saturn in Pisces, that's for you, right? Let go like this drop. Let go of certain things. And she is the leader, and she is actually saying, well, I am the leader. I am here on the wheel of fire, but I also know that I have to use my internal knowledge to come into empowerment, right? And so now we have, of course, the 8. The 8 and the 9 is the 17, and that's Aquarius. That's the star. So allow yourself to let go and see that the age of Aquarius is taking over, and that you don't need to be in the age of Pisces anymore, right? That you're liberated, that you are free now, and that you can fly. So maybe it's almost like Sagittarius is telling you, well, this is what I do. Now, why don't you do that as well, right? And of course, Gemini is also letting you know, well, let go of pushing constantly your things, your old bags with you, right? It's almost like this is oppression, right? The 10 of Wands, Saturn in Sagittarius. And so this is definitely connected here, right? The Sagittarius and Saturn in Sagittarius. So have a look, right? What is it really that is talking here? And of course, we also have the 3 of Pentacles. That's like Mars in Capricorn, and now you have Mars in Aries. So Mars is like the fighter. Mars is the one that says, I'm going to do this project, right? And now you have Jupiter here in Leo, and Jupiter in Leo is like, okay, we can do this project. We get the strength. That's what the 8 is, but it's also the infinite symbol. And so the 17 here is coming. The 17 is then the 8. Now we have the 8-11 or the 11-8 as a date, right? So observe, see how that message works for you, and understand that sometimes things seem difficult because you have altogether 18 wands. And 18 wands is like you. That's the past lives. So maybe you have been in the past life this person, or maybe this person. Maybe you have been a Sagittarius or a Gemini, and now you're seeing something that you maybe understand that you need to let go. You need to really leave something. You need to let go, and you need to liberate yourself in this life, right? From whatever here comes to you as an 11, as an inner knowing, and as an inner teacher that tells you something here is ending. And so now you have 9 wands here, right? And of course the 9 here, then you have a 9-9 and the 11, right? And so that's the message. That's clear, that you're learning more and more to accept that certain things do not make sense, and particularly the victim, right, that you sometimes think you still are. You are not the victim. You are the one that flies and that trusts that the healing is coming, and that when we know how to heal, when we know that deep in us we all have the healer in us, then we just use it and understand that the healing is close. So I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the sun in Scorpio. We have the 13 coming up right here with the 10, and here with Gemini. That was the 13, and 13 is Scorpio. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.